Hello, I've held leadership roles in both customer-facing and R&D environments, working as product and program manager as well as line manager across several different domains. I am PMP and ETIL V4 certified. My name is Per Adolfsson and I'm passionate about leadership. Over the years, I built a toolbox of methods, frameworks, and practices that I use in my work. One of the tools I've come across is not a framework or a method at all. It's a way of understanding human behavior, how we perceive our own competence. It is simple but useful in leadership, recruitment, personal development, and collaboration. I'm talking about the Dunning-Kruger effect. And in this presentation, I will share how it works, how it shows up in real life, and how it has influenced my own leadership journey and decision making. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a cognitive bias that affects how we judge our own skills and knowledge. When we know little about the topic, we tend to be more confident than we should be because we don't yet see everything we don't know. As we learn more, we start to understand the complexity of the subject, and our confidence usually drops. With experience and practice, both our knowledge and competence grow together. This is not about intelligence. Anyone can experience it. Being an expert in one area doesn't mean you're an expert in another. The journey often looks like this. The peak of confidence. I got this. After learning the basics, confidence rises quickly, even though experience is still limited. Then comes the reality check. Oh, this is harder than I thought. As we learn more, we discover how much there is still to understand, and confidence usually falls. Growing competence. I'm getting better. With practice, our skills improve and confidence becomes more realistic. Then we get to true expertise. There is always more to learn. Experts are confident, but also humble because they understand the limits of their own knowledge. The key message here: confidence does not always match competence. The more we learn, the better we become at judging what we know and what we still need to learn. One reason I like the Dunning-Kruger effect is that I can rely on it from my own career. Years ago, entering a new role, I often thought, this isn't so difficult, I've got this. But as I learned more, I realized how much I didn't know. My confidence dropped, not because I was getting worse, but because I started to understand the complexity. Or as one of my colleagues used to say, the devil is in the details. Even when the subject matter was new, the leadership skills I have built up over the years gave me a solid foundation that allowed me to ask questions, learn from others, and keep moving forward. Over time, both my knowledge and my confidence grow together. Today, when I start something new, I expect that phase. Instead of seeing it as a setback, I see it as part of a learning journey. Let me bring two examples I come across multiple times in my leadership roles in relation to recruitment. Confidence can sometimes look like competence. A candidate with limited experience may present themselves very strongly, while others with deep expertise may be more careful in how they describe their abilities. Similarly, extroverted people tend to be more confident in their ability to describe themselves and their competence, while introverted people often could have great competence but lack the confidence to clearly express those. This makes it important to look beyond presentation and appearance for real understanding, not just polished answers and social personalities. Here, many leaders favorize the visual perception when recruiting and go with their gut feeling rather than on facts. Another example is how we interpret experience and CVs. Some candidates describe themselves as experts after being loosely involved in a project, or after reading a white paper. They may believe they have deep knowledge, even when the actual exposure has been limited. A classic example of the Dunning-Kruger effect, but also heavily influenced by specific cultures. The key lesson is simple. Confidence and claims of expertise are not always equal to real competence. Good leadership means staying curious, validating understanding, and creating fair ways to assess what people actually know and can do. A key leadership lesson from the Dunning-Kruger effect is how we develop people over time. At the start, people often gain confidence quickly after early success. As a leader, it's important not to stop there, but to continue to challenge them and avoid confusing early confidence with full competence. This is why a long-term development plan matters. People need a clear path with increasing complexity, with stretched goals and a vision that shows where they are heading, not just what they need here and now. As they grow, they will hit a phase where confidence drops as they start to see the real complexity. This is where many development journeys stall. My role as a leader is to engage them, reconnect them to see the bigger picture, and help them to see this as part of the progress. Over time, with the right challenge and support, competence and confidence align, and the individual hopefully remain motivated and ready for even more complex tasks or career move. Now, I have shared the Dunning-Kruger effect, how it works, some examples from real life, and how it has influenced my own leadership journey and decision making. Thank you for watching. I hope this inspires you with some new insights that you bring on your own leadership journey. Feel free to leave any comments or reflections, and remember to use a professional and respectful tone.